Yes, indeed, folks, it's the illusion of choice! And I have chosen, amongst the email, finding something. It's very short. It's rather sweet. It's from Muldy. He says this. Dear TB, what do you have to say to the people who are crying about Cataclysm when it comes to reforging Azeroth lore and class race combinations? Okay. Let me just make this clear to you. I know some of you may listen to But Wait There's Lore and maybe have been taken in by the mistaken idea that lore is actually important. It isn't. Nobody cares. Particularly when it comes to the lore behind class-race combinations. Now, I can understand people caring about the backstory of some big cool boss or some awesome item. Okay, I can get behind that. But the whys and wherefores of whether or not Taurens can use paladin powers and light and lightsabers and the Sith and all this other nonsense, I don't care. Nobody else does either. Like, you're the vast vocal minority. Funnily enough, the vast majority of the QQing on the forums initially was from these people. It was like 5 guys, yeah, posting the same threads over and over again. Coming, I'm gonna quit WoW because Tauren can now have paladins. That is the most illogical, ridiculous thing you could ever possibly think of. It's like, I'm not gonna ride this bus because it's not the right colour. Like, the bus is perfectly fine and serviceable. Indeed, the bus works absolutely fine. It's a good price. It gets you where you need to go. It's clean. The driver is absolutely experienced. It's a very safe and comfortable ride. But since it's bright green instead of bright blue, we can't have that. And I'm just gonna stand around at the bus stop and wait for something that is bright blue. So terrible. Good lord. I'm sorry. Here's something to accept about this. Video game background stories, and indeed MMO backstories. That's one step above fanfic. It really is. No offense to Chris Metzen and all the other guys that write it, but yet writing stories in a video game. I could think of like maybe 2. Yes, 2 games. No, 3. 3 games that actually had stories that were even close to being like in novel form. One of them would, of course, be Deus Ex, another would be Planescape Torment, and the third one would be Mass Effect. All 3 of these games had really, really great stories, but otherwise, the story comes in second to the action and actually participating in it. You don't want too rigid a story, because you're trying to give the illusion that the people playing have the ability to affect it. That's the aim, right? Surely. So, QQing about the lore when it comes to class race combinations is asinine. I mean, for God's sake, they already jumped the shark with the lore with their space goats and blinking Sith elves. They were stretching it there. You've got to understand that the lore serves only to provide vague and paper-thin justifications for the game mechanics they want to put into the game. The game mechanics are what matter within the game, because without game mechanics, all you've got is a fanfic with pictures. Who wants to play that? I know I don't. Absolutely not. I can forgo things like a great, immersive, amazing story as long as the game is fun to play. I can't do it the other way round. A great story in a boring game? No. Because otherwise I might just as well just read a book. Now, I know a lot of people seem to get all up in arms over the lore, and I say a lot, but you gotta bear in mind we've got 12 million players, and it's this vast vocal minority of players that get up in arms about the lore. But, guys, accept it, please. I like some stupid, dumb, pulpy stuff too. I read Warhammer 40,000 novels, for God's sake. At no point am I ever under the illusion that they're any good. They're not. They're trash. They're trashy novels, but I just happen to like the universe they're in. I don't take them too seriously. So when they do something that, maybe breaks the background lore or is just really bad writing, or, even one of the best writers for Warhammer 40,000 uses plot armor, the likes of which you have never seen. I mean, that's a bad storytelling mechanic. It's not good at all. As a narrative device, it's asinine. But that's even one of the best ones, but I still like the stories. But I don't take them too seriously, and I don't care if stupid stuff like that happens, because the universe is cool. I would suggest to all the lorehounds out there that you treat this the same way. It's a cool universe, but for God's sake, don't take it so seriously. There's gonna be retcons, there's gonna be clashes, there's gonna be some really silly things happen. And if it happens for the purpose of making the game better from a mechanics standpoint, then lore must always give way to mechanics. It's like people complain about the lore, the Blood Elves and the Draenei. Yeah, but they wanted 2 more races in the game, so they had to build lore to justify it. Now it's Worgen and Goblins. They wanted 2 more races in the game. Yeah, I think they're probably wrong by putting 2 more races in the game. I don't like the fact they're doing it, but they've got to produce some kind of lore to justify it. That's all the lore is. It's just kind of an explanation of why things are here. I'm okay with that. That's fine. But please, please don't get up in arms about the lore of all things. Now, as regards to the whining about the reuse of content and stuff like that, just bear this in mind. You asked for it. Loads of people, in fact, on the forums and everywhere else asked for this thing. Yeah, they may also be the vocal minority, but the point is they were vocal about it. To the point where Blizzard paid attention. That's what happens. Sometimes Blizzard pays attention to groups who are vocal. Indeed, how could they function any other way? I can't think of a way. Reforging Azeroth. Azeroth wasn't that great to begin with. Sure, it was memorable, but not necessarily all for the right reasons. There were some quite bland zones there. Yeah, you got some great nostalgic memories from there, but wouldn't you have even greater nostalgic memories if you got to go back and see them changed? I would. Like I said before, I am excited by that idea. That's great. I mean, I wouldn't complain about reusing content when you're looking at the possibility of otherwise just having another continent. Right? The same guys complaining about reusing content, the guys who said, oh yeah, Northrend is awesome. Yeah, well guess what? That was all snow. Like, 80% of that continent was snow. Did you complain that that was reusing the Alterac Mountains? Or any of the other snowy areas? Did you? What about Ungoro Crater? Sholazar Basin is incredibly similar. Did you complain that they somehow had some rainforest-style Oasis Utopia? Very similar. Is that reusing content? It's certainly reusing tile sets. Why do you complain about that? No, I don't see you complaining about that, do I? No. Yeah, you're being tricked into the illusion that this is amazing new terrain. I don't care about erasing new terrain, because there's only so much you can do with it anyway. You've got desert, snow, temperate, jungle. Barren death place. It's like it. There's 5 things. So, don't pretend that you can make any more of that. Just go back to the old areas and make them more interesting. What's wrong with that? That seems like a great idea. Why complain that you're going back there? Surely you want to see how the story ends. It's funny how I see some of the lorehounds complaining about it as well. It's like, if you cared so much about the lore, then you would also care about the story of the game progressing in some way. And revisiting Azeroth and seeing all of those quests that follow on from the stuff that you've done and see the area changed as a result of you and your companions' actions. Surely that is a good storytelling method. So why whine that they're reusing areas? I can't figure it out. People are just never going to be happy. Let's accept that. You know, I'm not always happy about everything that goes on in WoW. Hell no. Why would I be? I'd imagine a lot of people aren't. That's fine. That's okay. It's okay to be upset about things. It's okay to get a little bit angry about certain things within WoW. It's okay to pick and choose and not simply like everything, because that only indicates that you have no taste. You have no standards. You cannot discern between the good and the bad. That is a terrible thing. But all in all, Cataclysm seems to me to be incredibly impressive. And I'm willing to accept their reasoning for the recycling of content, quote-unquote. And indeed, I'm willing to go along with it, because it's good reasoning. It looks like a good expansion. Looking forward to it very much. Ladies and gents, my name has been Total Biscuit. This has been a uber-long Blue Please here on WoW Radio. It's shout-out time. You can email me, themoloch@gmail.com. Alternatively, tweet me at TotalBiscuit. Or you can send me a PM on IRC, irc.mmoirc.com. #or WoW Radio. Go do it! Do it now! Now. And I shall give those shout-outs to you. Let us start, shall we? Probably the best idea. Shout out to Stormgale and Hollander, for they are made of kittens. That's from Malia. You're weird. You are bizarre. Shout out to Matarix and Pariah on Vecna Lash from Romance. Ew. No. I don't like that. Can I get a shout out to RR Inc. on Ravenhold EU for getting the server first on Algonon 10-man and making an awesome event out of it. Can I also get a shout out to Xylus Suck Less? That's from Starcaller Vati, level 80 human mage on RR Inc. on Ravenhold EU. There you go. A shout out to my guild Reprisal on Draenor US, their most adored resto druid Narnith. Can I get a shout out to my guild, the Beauties on Mazago EU? Yes, you can. Can I get a shout out to the lava in the mountains? In the mountains, you say?
In the mountains.
Yes, you can. Wow, my ISC's crashing. Can I get a shout out to Helix, my compadres and compatriots? Or compatriots on Mazago EU. And my new title, I'm now the Bloodsail Admiral. You waste time, Limus, you waste time. Shout out to the hackers who hacked me and deleted all my characters. Well, that wasn't very nice, was it? Some Saracen. Can I get a shout out to myself for getting my ass out of the couch and getting back to studying? Would be awesome. That's from Avitas. Yes, good. Make something of your life. A shout out to Blizzard for holding BlizzCon. Why? They made a ton of money. Can I get a shout out to Virtual Progression on US Tharazen for getting me forum banned? Don't worry, guys. You will be able to defeat the easy content in this game soon. From Andvia of Cuties Only, US number 3, world number 11. Wow, impressive. Shout out to Railguns from Tardy Clock of Azure Mist EU. Shout out to the Zamorak on Black Dragonflight US for being a nub huntard. And a shout out to Honest Wrath on Velen for clearing TOC 10-man with only one wipe. Only one? That's terrible. To the people whining about the law, specifically Tauren Paladins, go away. That's a shout out from Neville80. A shout out to Lanix on Frostmourne US for losing the game. Shout out to my wife, Liskajar, for working hard, getting made Resto Druid Officer and being awarded the first of the 30 fragments for the legendary makes when it dropped this week in Uldwar. That's from Knight. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Red Sky on McTheridon for boosting me for 4 hours straight in SM yesterday. That is from Torel what the hell? I'm not even going to try. Excellent show, as always, TB. Can I get a shout-out to the Murloc and his poor cousin through and down the well, and everyone from SWC who might be listening. Also, shout out to Kiki, if he might be listening, or somehow telepathically knowing it. We all still love you. You are awesome. That's from Orhid on the Steam Whittle Cartel, filthy role players that we are. Oh yes, a shout out to Obi-Wan Kenobi, just because, and also to my priest for getting 2-piece tier 8.5 3 days after dinging. That's from Azami. Casuals. Shout out and in the mountains drop in for Passion on Draenor EU. Love cats, hate mangoes. Oh dear.
In the mountains.
I'm done, folks. I am thoroughly beaten. 2 hours of Blue Police today. A little bit more than I intended. Oh well, those of you listening to the podcast is slightly shorter. Thank you ever so much for listening. I do please remember, this is rolling out for all of the shows, and they'll be no doubt telling you where to do it. If you wish to drop a couple of pennies in the tip jar, the PayPal tip jar for Blue Please and Gaming the System is totalbiscuit@gmail.com. Anything you give is very much appreciated. And indeed, your listenership, of course, and your patronage, also very much appreciated. We hope to bring you some really great high-standard stuff. You want to check out our coverage from BlizzCon, you can do so. There's more archives being uploaded all the time. WCRadio.com. Go have a look for it. It's very, very good indeed. You can also get the RSS feed and get everything delivered directly to your door. I am out of here, folks. Thank you for listening. My name has been Total Biscuit. This has been Blue Please. Good night.